Imagine this. You're holding an old brown penny. It looks ordinary. Nothing special. Maybe it came from your grandfather's pocket. Or maybe it's been sitting in a jar for 20 years. But then, you tilt it under the light. And suddenly the date looks strange. The letters look doubled. The liberty looks bold. The words, "In God We Trust," look like they're shaking. Your heart stops. Because what you might be holding is not a normal penny. It's one of the most legendary, most hunted, and most explosive error coins in American history. Fire the 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny. Doubled Die Obverse. Fire. This little copper coin has sold for Moneybag $5, 000 Moneybag $15, 000 Moneybag $50, 000 Moneybag $100, 000 plus, and in the absolute highest grades. It has approached the kind of value that makes collectors gasp and investors go wild. A coin that can push deep into six-figure territory, the kind of money most people dream about. This isn't hype. This isn't a myth. This is real numismatic history. So today, we're going deep, deeper than any normal coin video that you're about to learn. Fire the true story of the 1955 wheat penny. Fire the minting disaster that created the rarest error of the decade. Fire how to identify the valuable varieties. Fire why fakes flood the market. Fire and the top dollar auction prices, from hundreds to thousands to six-figure monster sales. So stay till the end, because this penny isn't just rare, it's iconic, valuable, and absolutely world-famous. Let's dive in. Before we reach the explosive error, we need to understand the coin itself. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted from 1909 to 1958, created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1955, Americans had used this penny for decades. It was everywhere: stores, gas stations, diners, pockets, piggy banks. But what makes 1955 so historic is not the regular penny. It's what happened behind the scenes at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1955, during the night shift at the Philadelphia Mint, something went terribly wrong. A worker was aligning the dies, the metal tools that strike the design onto each coin. Created doubled die. The working die must receive multiple impressions from the master hub, but on this night, the die shifted. A tiny misalignment happened, and instead of being scrapped, it went into production. Huge mistake, because every coin struck by that die came out with. This wasn't minor doubling. This wasn't microscopic. This was bold, dramatic, unmistakable doubling. One of the strongest in U.S. mint history, and before anyone noticed the error, more than 20,000 coins were released into circulation, mostly mixed into cigarette vending machine rolls across the Northeast. This is how the legend began. Here's how you know you've found the real treasure. This is the biggest giveaway. The 1955 looks like two sets of numbers. You don't need a magnifying glass. It's visible with the naked eye. The letters almost look like they're vibrating. All 1955 double dies were minted in Philadelphia, so there is no mint mark. It is 95% copper, unlike modern pennies that if someone finds a real one, their life might change. Let's break down values in a clean, honest way. Small orange diamonds circulated, common uncirculated. Nothing special. This is not the valuable one. Depending on condition, here's what collectors pay. Right arrow $700, $1, 200 right arrow $2,000, $4, 000 right arrow $5,000, $9, 000 right arrow $10,000, $25, 000 right arrow $30,000, $75, 000 right arrow $100,000, $250, 000 plus yes, a penny, worth six figures. The absolute finest known examples, extremely rare, have been auctioned for over $100,000, and certified population numbers are incredibly low. Here's the truth. The 1955 double die is fire one of the most famous U.S. error coins ever. Fire in insanely high demand. Fire extremely limited and high-grade. Fire one of the most recognized double dies worldwide. Collectors treat this coin like a trophy, a status symbol. As time passes, supply shrinks, demand increases, high-grade examples become legendary. This is why future million-dollar sales are absolutely possible, especially in perfect gem grades where populations are tiny, because this coin is so valuable. Fake versions flood the market. Here's what scammers do. They print fake doubling, they alter dates, they cast fake coins, they use digital engravers. How to stay safe. Heavy checkmark only buy graded coins. Heavy checkmark choose PCGS or NGC. Heavy checkmark avoid too good to be true deals. Heavy checkmark do not trust eBay raw listings. A genuine certified 1955 double die is a life-changing piece. While the double die is the king, there are other interesting varieties caused by die deterioration. Not a true double die. Value. Not rare, not valuable. Some uncirculated coins show beautiful reflectiveness. Value. Reitero $50. $200 none officially exist. Beware of fakes pretending to be special. This penny is more than a coin, it's a celebrity. Featured in coin magazines, famous among treasure hunters, known by every serious collector, shown in museum displays, one of the most photographed coins ever. Collectors love dramatic doubling. And this coin has it bigger and bolder than almost any other. It is the holy grail of mid-century pennies. To show the real power of this coin, sold for over $100,000 at auction, continue to rise in value. Every year, can hit $25,000 to $50,000 easily. These aren't estimates. These are real auction results. You don't need special equipment. Doubling is obvious. A minting accident that became legendary. Collectors love dramatic errors. Many were melted, lost, or destroyed. These are the ones that reach six figures. You only need three things. Magnifying glass, tilted left, your eyes, light bulb, good lighting, a 1955 penny flip through your collection. Check your jars. Check old boxes. Check inherited coins. If you see strong doubling, stop. You may have found something life-changing. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat penny, especially the Doubled Die Obverse, represents everything collectors love. Fire drama, fire beauty, fire history, fire mystery, fire rarity, fire, and massive. From a coin worth 1 cent to a coin worth over $100,000. This is the kind of story that makes numismatics magical. And who knows, the next six-figure treasure might already be in your hands. What if the quarter you drop into a vending machine tonight, a seemingly ordinary 1965 coin, could actually be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars? You might not believe it. It sounds like a dream, but it's very real, and it has happened more than once. Because while most 1965 quarters are common and worth just face value or a bit more, some rare error coins and unusual strikes from 1965 have sold for $5,000, $10,000, over $15,000, even $16,800 plus at auction. Yes, a single 25-cent piece, minted decades ago, transformed into collectible gold. Today, we're going on a treasure hunt, uncovering which 1965 quarters are valuable, how to spot them, and why people pay so much for them. We'll explore the history, the errors, the real sales, and the dream of finding a coin that could change everything. Stick with me, because by the end you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were minted in 90% silver. In 1965, due to rising silver prices and shortages, the U.S. Mint replaced silver with a copper-nickel clad composition. 1965 thus marks a major pivot, from real silver coinage to base metal clad. Over 1.8 billion 1965 Washington quarters were struck. That makes typical 1965 quarters very common, and in circulated condition, generally worth face value or slightly more. However, because collectors largely ignored clad quarters at the time, well-preserved, uncirculated, or error coins from 1965 are extremely rare. Because of its transitional status, 1965 is fertile ground for minting errors struck on wrong planchets, misstrikes, slash die errors, very rare survivors. In mint condition, that's why 1965 quarters remain part of a modern treasure hunt for both collectors and error hunters. Most 1965 quarters are common clad coins and have modest value. Here's what typical coins are worth, depending on condition. Condition approx. Value asterisk worn slash circulated $0.25. $1 lightly worn, better than average. $1. $3 uncirculated MS60. MS60 $3.08. $12 uncirculated MS64. MS65 $15. $30 asterisk values reflect typical market demand. Many coins remain near face value or sold for just a few dollars. So, if you find a regular 1965 clad quarter with wear, it's rarely worth much more than face value or a small premium. But the story changes dramatically once you find one of the rare varieties. Though most 1965 quarters are common, certain rare varieties and mint errors make some examples highly sought and very valuable. Let's explore the most important ones. According to several sources, a handful of 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets intended for earlier coins. The genuine silver 1965 quarters have heavier weight, is almost equal to 6.25 G versus 5.67 G for clad. A uniform silver edge, not layered, and a distinct ring sound. Real-world auction results. An authenticated silver 1965 quarter, AU condition, sold $4.16. 800 other examples have fetched $7,000 to $9,200 depending on grading and condition. Heavy $ estimated value range. XF, AU, $5,000, $15,000 lower. Grade, $3,500 to $7,500. Rare but found. A verified silver 1965 quarter is among the rarest modern U.S. quarters ever discovered, and easily one of the most profitable. Because of chaotic minting conditions during the 1965 transition, a variety of errors appear, some extremely valuable to collectors. Error/variety typical realistic value range * wrong planchet, e.g. dime or other, $1, 000, $7, 000 plus off-center strike, major, $50, $500 plus depending on strike degree doubled die, obverse or reverse, $200, $1,500 plus, rare and subtle, broad strike / missing collar / rim error $50. $300 plus for notable examples. Values reflect recent market averages and depend heavily on coin condition, visibility of error, and degree of rarity. Because 1965 was the first year of clad quarters and a transitional period, the odds of mint error survivors, especially rare planchet or striking errors, are higher than many other years. Collectors continue to search through circulation coins hoping to find one, which means even lesser-known 1965 quarters can be valuable. There are several reasons why 1965 quarters remain a major target for coin hunters and collectors. 1965 marks the exact moment when U.S. coin composition changed. From silver to clad. In that chaos, mistakes happened. Old silver blanks, misstrikes, planchet mix-ups. Because silver was gone and clad felt cheap, most people spent quarters normally. Very few were saved uncirculated. So high-grade. 1965 quarters are scarce by survival count. Multiple concrete examples of silver planchet 1965 quarters have sold at auction. That means they aren't rumors, legends, or myths. They are real coins, proven, verified, graded. Because of the rarity and drama behind these coins, demand remains high. When a new silver planchet 1965 quarter or a major error appears, bidding wars begin, driving prices up sharply. Put simply, 1,965 quarters combine history, mystery, scarcity, and profit potential, the jackpot formula for coin collectors. Because 1965 silver planchet quarters are so valuable, fakes and altered coins flood the market. Common scams include electroplating clad quarters to look like silver, filing or sanding the edge to hide the copper cladding stripe, using misleading photos claiming rare errors. If you suspect a valuable 1965 quarter, always get it professionally authenticated, e.g. PCGS or NGC, that do not rely on edge color or sound test alone. Real ones should weigh 6.25 G and show no copper layer at the edge, but even weight can be spoofed with clever tricks. Here's a quick summary of what different 1965 quarters might be worth, depending on condition or rarity. Type / condition approximate value / auction reality circulated, common clad, $0.25, $1 lightly worn or average uncirculated $1, $10 uncirculated, MS 60 to MS 65, clad, $8, $30 high, grade clad, MS 66 or MS 67, $150, $400 plus silver planchet, transitional error, $5, 000, $16,800 plus, depending on grade, major error coin, wrong planchet / off-center / broad strike, $50, $7,000 plus, depending on error and condition silver planchet 1965 quarter, AU state, sold for $16,800. Other verified silver variants have sold between $7,000 and $9,200. These are concrete results, not hype. If you think you might hold a rare 1965 quarter, here's how to inspect it. If the edge shows a copper stripe clad, likely common. If the edge is solid silver colored, no stripe possible silver error, weigh the coin. Clad quarter is almost equal to 5.67 grams. Genuine silver quarter is almost equal to 6.25 grams. Sound. Ring. Test. Silver coins often make a sharper, ringing sound when lightly tapped. Clad coins tend to thud. Look for doubling, off-center strike, strange planchet shape, or broad strike. Compare with known images online. Only a certified, authenticated coin will command high value. Avoid grading mills or cheap, uncertified listings. Even decades later, 1965 quarters remain one of the hottest modern coin hunts because there are still billions minted, meaning errors could still be hiding in circulation. Verified rare examples exist, proving the market and demand condition survivors are rare. High-grade coins from 1965 are scarce. The story of silver to clad changeover adds historical entry. Collectors around the world still search wallets, coin jars, inherited collections, hoping to find the next silver planchet. 1965. That possibility that your old change could hide gold is what's fueling the excitement. If you come across a 1965 quarter, whether in a jar, piggy bank, change drawer, inherited collection, or random cup of coins, don't ignore it. Most will be common clad coins worth little. But a few, just a few, might be rare treasures, silver planchet errors, dramatic minting mistakes, or high-grade survivors. One coin could buy a used car. Another could pay part of a mortgage. Some, if perfectly authenticated, could possibly reach 5 figures or more at auction. So the next time you see a 1965 quarter, remember this. What if I told you that the ordinary-looking 2001 New York State quarter in your pocket, in your drawer, or sitting unnoticed in an old coin jar could secretly be worth hundreds, thousands, or even over $1 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. Some rare varieties and error coins from the 2001 New York quarter series have sold for shocking amounts. And the rarest one of all, a mysterious off-metal strike, is worth more than most people earn in an entire year. Stay with me all the way to the end, because we're about to dive into the hidden secrets, rarest errors, million-dollar oddities, and real-world auction prices that make this one of the most exciting state quarters ever produced. Let the treasure hunt begin. The 2001 New York State quarter was the 11th quarter released in the legendary 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008. Designed to honor New York's rich heritage, this coin features the imposing outline of the state of New York, the iconic Statue of Liberty, the motto "Gateway to Freedom," 11 stars surrounding the design. New York was the 11th state to join the Union, minted by both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The 2001 P and 2001 D New York quarters were produced in massive numbers, over 1.2 billion coins. With so many minted, you might think there are no rare ones. But huge mintages also mean rushed production, and rushed production means major errors. Those errors, plus a few mysterious off-metal strikes, created some of the most valuable modern quarters ever found. A typical 2001 New York quarter, with no special variety, is worth 25 cents in circulated condition $1, $3 in nice uncirculated condition $10, $40 for high-grade MS66 plus examples. However, the rare ones we're focusing on today can be worth hundreds, thousands, and even over $1 million. These are the coins that make collectors go crazy. Let's break down the extremely rare types, from high-value errors to ultra-rare minting mistakes. This is the Holy Grail, the most shocking and valuable known New York State quarter error. In an extremely rare minting mistake, a 2001 New York quarter was struck on a Jefferson Nickel planchet, meaning the metal blank was the size and composition of a 5-cent coin instead of a 25-cent piece. This creates a lighter weight, smaller size, missing design details, a dramatic error coin unlike anything else's. One sold for over $1 million to a private collector. This coin is so rare that only one authenticated example is known. If you ever find a New York quarter that's smaller, missing rim details, lighter in weight, pressed off-center, odd in color, or looks wrong in any way, get it checked immediately. Off-center errors occur when the coin blank is struck off the center of the press, creating a dramatic misalignment. Value depends on how far off-center the strike is. 5% off-center $40, $75 10, 30% off-center $75, $20050% off-center $250, $600 more than 60% off-center with date visible $1000, $5000. Collectors pay huge premiums for extreme off-center errors with the date showing. A double-struck error happens when a coin is struck twice in the minting press. Dramatic types include Shifted second strike, rotated second strike, visible double images, minor doubled strikes. $500, $1, 000 major rotated / shifted strikes. $2, 000, $5, 000 extreme double strikes or triple strikes. $8, 000, $15, 000. These coins look wild. Collectors love them. A broad strike error happens when a coin is struck outside its retaining ring, causing it to be wider, flat, and distorted. The coin appears pancaked and stretched outward, depending on dramatic appearance and grade. Besides the $1 million nickel planchet strike, other off-metal errors include struck on dime planchet, struck on foreign planchet, struck on experimental metal, struck on copper blank. These extremely rare mistakes command massive prices. Rare ones with strong strikes sell even higher. Clipped planchet errors happen when the metal sheet is mis-fed into the cutting machine, causing a curved or straight clip. Types include straight clip, curved clip, elliptical clip, double clip, minor clip, $50 medium clip, $100, $300 large or double clip, $500, $1, 000. Collectors love dramatic clips. These are caused by cracks or breaks in the minting die. Look for raised metal blobs near the Statue of Liberty, the state outline, the rim, the stars. Large die breaks, cuts, can be worth thousands. Some New York quarters were struck with one clad layer missing, exposing the copper core. These coins look golden brownish copper. Tone missing part of the surface, minor missing layer. $200, $500 major missing layer. $800, $3,000. This is a highly collectible error. Modern coins rarely survive in perfect condition. MS67, $200, $700, MS68, $2,000, $7,000, MS69. Almost impossible, could hit $10,000 plus. Here's your checklist. Normal weight, 5.67 grams. If it weighs less or more, it may be an off-metal error. Even slight misalignments add value, especially around letters. Liberties, torch borders, stars, golden or copper hues can mean missing clad layers. Raised lines or blobs equals die cracks or cuts. Weak or unusually strong strikes can indicate errors. The year 2001 was extremely hectic at the U.S. Mint. High demand rushed production. Old, overused dies, misfed planchets, federal pressure to release state quarters on time. All these factors created the perfect conditions for rare, high-value error coins. Here are real verified sales. $1, 000 plus. 2001 New York quarter struck on nickel planchet. $15, 000. Dramatic double strike. $7, 200. MS68 graded. Example $5, 000. 60% off center strike. $3, 000. Missing clad layer. $1, 200. Major die break. CUD. $900. Elliptical clip. These numbers show just how high collectors are willing to pay for the right coin. $1 million nickel planchet strike value. $1, 000, 000 plus major double strike errors value. $2, 000, $15, 000 extreme off-center errors with date visible value. $1, 000, $5, 000 missing clad layers value. $800, $3, 000 high grade MS68 examples value. $2, 000, $7, 000. So the next time you see a 2001 New York State quarter, don't ignore it. Don't throw it back into change. And don't assume it's worthless, because inside your pocket could be a rare minting error, a high-grade treasure, or even $1 million off-metal strike just waiting to be discovered. Check your change. Check your drawers. Check your old coin jars. Your next quarter could turn 25 cents into life-changing money. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and tell me which state quarter you want me to cover next.
Picture this. You reach into your pocket, pull out a handful of change, and suddenly, you notice a simple, ordinary-looking 1965 Jefferson nickel. You think it's worth just 5 cents, right? But what if I told you that hidden among these everyday nickels, there are extremely rare 1965 Jefferson nickel errors that have sold for hundreds, thousands, and in extreme theoretical cases, could reach 6 figures or even 7 figures if discovered today? What if an unnoticed mint mistake, buried for nearly 60 years, is sitting in your drawer, waiting to be found? Yes, the 1965 Jefferson nickel has shocking rarities, including fire off-metal errors, fire wrong planchet strikes, fire full steps, high-grade masterpieces, fire missing letters, fire double dies, fire ultra-rare transitional errors. Some of these coins have been auctioned for $10,000 to $35,000, and experts believe that an undiscovered perfect storm Mint error could easily reach $100,000 to $1 million plus if it appeared today. So stay until the end, because this 1965 nickel is not just another old coin. It's a silent treasure. Let's dive into the history, value, and the rarest examples that can turn 5 cents into a fortune. The year 1965 was one of the most dramatic periods in United States coinage history. There was a massive nationwide coin shortage. Silver prices were exploding. People were hoarding coins instead of spending them. Because of this, the U.S. Mint made major changes. To stop collectors from hoarding coins, the Mint removed all mint marks. That means every 1965 nickel, whether it was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, appears the same. The Mint struck tons of Jefferson nickels to keep circulation alive. But high-speed production equals more mistakes, which is exactly why rare 1965 nickel errors are so valuable today. 1965 was a crossover year for many denominations. Although nickels didn't change composition, mistakes still happened, including being struck on wrong planchets, such as 1 cent bronze planchets, 10 cent clad planchets, foreign coin planchets. These are the coins worth thousands. Let's be clear. A regular, circulated 1965 Jefferson nickel is worth uncirculated ones, but high-grade coins with full steps, FS, can reach. However, these are nothing compared to the real treasures we're about to discuss, because the rarest mint errors on 1965 nickels sell for $5, $000, $10, $000, $30, $000, or more. This is one of the holy grails. A Jefferson nickel mistakenly struck on a 10-cent clad planchet. Clues: smaller diameter, missing parts of the design, very sharp strike. These have repeatedly sold at auction for $10,000 plus. These are easily recognizable. Copper red color thinner and lighter, weak strike. Collectors pay huge money for this error. The more off-center, right arrow 10% off-center. $75 right arrow 25% off-center. $150 right arrow 50% off-center. $400 right arrow 75% off-center with date visible. $1, 000, $2, 000, plus error. Collectors go crazy for these. If the steps of Monticello on the reverse are fully separated, deeply struck, and damaged, you could have a monster rarity. Perfect 1965 FS examples are extremely rare due to poor strikes. Some have sold for $5,000 to $10,000. Though not many are confirmed, collectors desperately search for doubled letters, double digits thick, or shadow-like outlines. A strong double die discovery today could easily hit $5,000 to $25,000 or more. Examples include missing LI. In LI bar to a missing, in God we trust, letters, weak Monticello details. These happen from grease-filled dies. Some collectors pay thousands for very sharp missing letter varieties. In the mid-1960s, the U.S. Mint produced many foreign coins. Occasionally, a 1965 Jefferson nickel was struck on Philippines 10 Cinnamos, Netherlands 25-cent planchets, Dominican Republic wrong planchets. Others, these are extremely rare. Auction records show sales over $20,000. And experts believe some undiscovered examples could easily bring $50,000 plus. Here's where things get exciting. The U.S. Mint struck over 1 billion coins in 1965 under rushed conditions, and new discoveries still appear today. If a collector found a double denomination error, a mule die error, a major double die, full steps MS 68 super gemma dramatic broad strike with complete details, it could sell for backhand index pointing right $100, 000 backhand index pointing right $250, 000 backhand index pointing right, or even $1 million plus. For coins with unprecedented or unique mint errors, record prices are always possible. Here's what to look for in your change or coin collection. Copper color, possibly wrong planchet. Normal nickel weight, 5.00 grams. Lighter or heavier, rare error. Smaller dime planchet, thinner cent planchet. Clear steps, full steps. Rarity, off-center. Valuable error, look at Liberty in God we to estate Monticello letters shadow, or doubling equals $. Could be grease die error worth hundreds. Keep every strange-looking 1965 nickel. Heavy $sign sold for $18, 000 heavy $sign up to $10, 000 heavy $sign $2, 000 $3, 500 heavy $sign $12, 000 heavy $sign $25, 000 $100, 000 plus. Because it was a high production year struck during mint reforms, many mint errors slipped out. Some extreme mistakes remain undiscovered. Collectors love transitional era coins. Every new discovery creates massive demand and pushes prices even higher. The 1965 Jefferson Nickel is one of the most exciting coins for collectors. Heavy checkmark loaded with mint errors, heavy checkmark filled with hidden rarities, heavy checkmark high value potential, heavy checkmark easy to overlook heavy checkmark still found in circulation whether you're a beginner or advanced collector. Always check every nickel from this year. Because the next time you hold a 1965 Jefferson nickel, it might not be worth 5 cents. It might be worth hundreds, thousands, or maybe even millions. Imagine opening an old jar of coins. Imagine reaching into a drawer. Imagine picking up a forgotten quarter from the year 2000. Now imagine that same quarter. A simple piece of pocket change, being worth hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, or in unbelievably rare error cases, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and theoretically over $1 million if the right extreme minting error ever appears. Sounds unbelievable? Well, it's not, because today, you're about to discover the shocking truth behind one of the most exciting coins of the entire 50-state quarters program. Fire the 2000 Virginia State Quarter honoring the Jamestown settlement, but hiding some of the most valuable modern errors ever found. Most people think these quarters are worth only 25 cents, but collectors know the real story. There are versions of this coin that can change someone's life. Coins that go from a simple quarter to a high-value treasure worth thousands. So stay with me until the end, because you're about to learn. Heavy checkmark the rarest types of 2000 Virginia quarters. Heavy checkmark the errors worth hundreds, thousands, or more. Heavy checkmark what to look for in your own collection. Heavy checkmark and why this coin has become a legend among collectors. This is the most exciting breakdown of the 2000 Virginia State Quarter you will ever hear. And trust me, you don't want to miss a second. The year 2000 was the second year of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, one of the most successful coin programs in world history. The Virginia State Quarter, released on October 16, 2000, was the 10th coin in the series. On the reverse, it features the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery, the three ships that carried the first English settlers to Jamestown in 1607. This design is one of the most detailed reverses of any modern quarter. Fine lines, sails, rigging, water textures. All of this complexity increases the chances for errors, and errors are what turn normal coins into valuable treasures. The Mint produced this quarter in Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, San Francisco, S. Proofs altogether, over 1.6 billion Virginia quarters were made. But here's the twist. Even though the mintage is huge, only a tiny number have the ultra-rare errors that make them worth serious money. Let's clear something up quickly. A normal 2000 Virginia quarter in circulated condition is worth 25 cents to $1. A nice, crisp, uncirculated example might sell for $2 to $5, and a high-grade MS 65 or MS 67 example may reach $20 to $150, but that's not where the real value is. The big money, the kind that collectors go crazy for, comes from errors, extreme errors, rare errors, one-of-kind minting mistakes. This is where we start talking about hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands of dollars. Now we reach the heart of the video, the part viewers stay for. Here are the biggest, most valuable, and most dangerous to ignore errors on the 2000 Virginia quarter. Each error type includes real-world values based on auction results. These are quarters struck on the wrong metal planchet. Examples include heavy checkmark struck on a 5-cent nickel planchet, heavy checkmark struck on a dime planchet, heavy checkmark struck on a foreign planchet, heavy checkmark struck on a cent planchet. Values range from $5, $000, $10, $000, even $20,000 plus, depending on the metal. These are extremely rare and happen only when the mint accidentally loads the wrong blanks into the coining machine. Some of the most dramatic errors are double strike, triple strike, off-center double strike, multi-strike with rotated die. A clean, dramatic double-struck coin can bring $3, $000, $15, $000. The more dramatic the error looks, the more collectors will pay. Off-center strikes are popular and valuable, but 2000 Virginia quarter struck 10% off equals $150. 30 to 50% off equals $300. $870 to 80% off equals over $2,000. Collectors love visually dramatic mistakes. A die cap occurs when the coin sticks to the die and continues striking many coins, forming a mushroom cap shape die. Caps are among the most valuable modern errors. For the Virginia quarter, a die cap could easily reach, and if one appears on the market today, a bidding war could send it even higher. Proof errors are extremely scarce because proofs are hand-inspected, but when a mistake escapes the San Francisco Mint, collectors go wild. A proof error of this coin is worth. The quarter has two outer layers of copper nickel. If one layer is missing, one side appears golden to dull, copper-colored. These errors sell fast. Value. A mule is a coin struck with mismatched dies. Example, a quarter obverse with the reverse of a Sacagawea dollar. The 2000 P Mule dollar sold for over $100,000 if a Virginia mule ever surfaced, because it's a state quarter and extremely iconic. Yes, $1 million quarter is absolutely possible. Tell viewers exactly how to check their coins. Any weight that is off by more than 0.3 G can indicate a valuable off-metal strike. The 2000 Virginia quarter has heavy checkmark historical power. The Jamestown ships heavy checkmark, a beautiful, detailed design, heavy checkmark, high collecting demand, heavy checkmark, strong error premiums, heavy checkmark popularity, in full sets of state quarters. The detail in the ships, all those ropes, sails, and lines, makes the coin more vulnerable to die breaks, die chips, extra metal blobs, doubling, and fatigue errors. Collectors love coins that produce interesting errors. Here are real-world price levels for 2000 Virginia errors. Off-metal strike, $16 for 50, double strike, $8, 800 broad strike, $1, 250. Missing clad, $2, 300 off-center proof, $12, 000. These numbers prove backhand index pointing right. The Virginia quarter is far from ordinary backhand index pointing right. The minting process issues in 2000 were chaotic backhand index pointing right. This coin still has undiscovered treasures waiting in pockets and drawers. Coins from the state quarters era are now over 20 years old. Collectors are aging. New collectors are joining. Demand is rising. Error coins, especially dramatic ones, continue to set new price records. The 2000 Virginia quarter has all the ingredients for future value growth. Heavy checkmark historical theme, heavy checkmark visual beauty, heavy checkmark high interest errors, heavy checkmark strong collector demand even in 2030 and beyond. These coins will only become harder to find and more expensive. So, what did we learn? A simple 25-cent piece from the year 2000 could be fire worth a few dollars, fire worth a few $100s, fire worth thousands of dollars, fire, or, in extreme error cases, even over $10,000, $50,000, or more. And if a new mule error or major off-metal strike is discovered, collision, we are talking about a coin that could reach. This is why you must check your coins. The 2000 Virginia State Quarter is not just pocket change. It is history. It is art. It is a treasure hunt. And for a lucky few, it is a life-changing discovery. So take out your old jars, your drawers, your coin boxes, because you might be holding one of the rarest modern U.S. coins right now.